Clerk, will you please call roll?
Commissioner Stapleton?
Yes.
Commissioner Holbrook?
Yes.
Commissioner Salisbury?
Yes.
Judge Cheney?
Yes. I skipped some of them. Was y'all staring at me for that reason?
Yep.
I'm flying. I said, we can get out of here in 15 minutes. I had no doubt. We're going to go back up to the finance section. There's the first reading of the budget amendment. Missy, will you tell us about this, please?
This is a budget amendment for $4,455,457.43. This budget amendment actually encompasses two things. It's fallen under borrowed money. This is for the line of credit you all approved last month. And then the $455,000 is for the cameras and monitors they put in at the jail. So it's all falls under the borrowed money line item. So we're asking for you to allow us to amend that into our current budget.
Get a motion and a second.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? Clerk, please call roll.
Commissioner Stapleton?
Yes.
Commissioner Holbrook?
Yes.
Commissioner Salisbury?
Yes.
Judge Cheney?
Yes. So now we'll go back to down to the general section and go to resolution for access agreement with Camp Landing. What this is for the sports complex. This will allow us to go ahead and get started on the site work and utility work, getting gas, water, sewer, site prep done, grading work, all that for the sports complex. So this is a resolution of Boyd County Fiscal Court authorizing the Boyd County Judge Executive to execute agreement with Camp Investments LLC for access onto Camp Investments property. Obviously, we'll have to get on Camp Landing's property to be able to get to where the property we own, so that's all that this is. Get a motion and a second.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? Clerk, will you please call roll?
Commissioner Stapleton?
Yes.
Commissioner Holbrook?
Yes.
Commissioner Salisbury?
Yes.
Judge Cheney?
Yes. Next, we'll move to transparency, community development update.
Good afternoon. So first thing is dump day. It is going to be on Saturday, May 30th at the Rumpke landfill from 7 a.m. to noon. This is open to all Boyd County residents. You do need to show your driver's license or an ID and a utility bill. Hold on. There we go. Take it off. Okay. So, do I need to repeat everything?
Utility bill.
Okay, so spring dump day, May 30th at the Rumpke landfill, 7 a.m. to noon. It's open to all the Boyd County residents. You do need an ID and a utility bill to verify that you are Boyd County. So there are a few things that you cannot take: hazardous waste, electronics, tires, paint, batteries, and appliances that have Freon in them. You cannot take those. This is intended for like household cleanouts, not to replace your regular trash service. If you have appliances that do not have Freon in them, you can bring those, but all loads need to be tarped and items need to be bagged. Any questions?
No, that was very good.
Okay, beautiful. Next is Touch a Truck. We have about 2.5 weeks till that. That is on June 5th at the Boyd Convention Arts Center. We're going to have our sensory-friendly hour from 10 to 11, so we won't have the lights on the trucks or the sounds and things like that to people who may be sensitive to those. And then at 11, we allow everybody to turn on their lights, honk the horns, kids can get up in the trucks and all that kind of stuff. So it does get a little loud. So we will start that at 11, and that will go until 1. We'll have free food, crafts, inflatables, all things like that. We do appreciate our local sponsors and partners that make all of our events possible and free for the community. Another thing that we have coming up is called Fun in the Sun. You probably remember Longest Day of Play that we've done for the past few years. Fun in the Sun is going to take place of that. The longest day of the year is actually on Sunday, on Father's Day this year. So we are bumping it to July. That'll give us some space between Touch a Truck and our other events. So will be July 17th on a Friday. That'll be at the old football field behind the preschool, and that'll be at 6 p.m. is when we'll start that. We'll have a foam party, inflatables, crafts, free food, all that kind of stuff there as well, Kona Ice. And then at 9 o'clock we are watching Nemo. So that'll be a lot of fun. We do popcorn, candy, all that, and we partner with our family resource and youth service centers to have that, so a huge shout out to them as well. And if there's anybody who would be interested in coming to host a game, like an outdoor water game, we're looking for people to do that. So organizations and different community partners that would be interested, shoot us a message on Facebook, email me, however you have my contact. And then like our Facebook page to get all our updates on things going on. So I think that's all.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. While we're talking about dump day, I want to talk about the dumpster program that I promised for 2 years is coming. We're finalizing just a couple things. Safety is always a concern of ours. We didn't have any issues, but we just wanted to make sure that everything's kind of dialed in the way we wanted it. We've got open pits that are there essentially when you've got the ramp going up to where the dumpsters are on the backside. So we're just kind of crossing our T's, dotting our I's, and we're waiting on the truck to get fixed. So the truck's fixed. We plan to get that open ASAP. I've talked about a video now for a month. We're going to get it done. And we're going to get this thing open and rolling. It's going to be fantastic. So we're really excited about that. And I know there's a lot of questions on it, and I promise it's going to be here.
The air is thick with anticipation.
Oh, yes. Next on the agenda is private cemetery. So this is an interesting one too, and Bill Hensley and I, we'll talk about this because I know there'll be a lot of questions, concerns. In the past, we have, the jail itself has cut privately owned cemeteries. State law actually prohibits that. That inmate labor is only for certain public or nonprofit purposes. So the second part of that is what we have to figure out. There are a lot of cemeteries that are privately owned. There's a lot of cemeteries that the landowners or the family takes care of and maintains that cemetery. And then there's been a lot of cemeteries that we have took care of in the past. So with that being said, we're no longer going to do private cemeteries that are owned, by a family and just on private property. We're not going to get into that. That's, state law strictly prohibits that. But I fully understand, and this is where we have to do our research. And Larry, this is where I'm going to be getting with you a lot on this. There are cemeteries that when you pull up on a PVA map, they don't have an owner. They're a family cemetery, but there is no owner to them. The deed book doesn't have a transfer page in there. It doesn't have a big deed book or page number. It doesn't have a sale date, nothing. So we're going to go through and pull all these out, and we're going to work with JPVA, and we're going to go through this and really see what we can find, right? If it's privately owned, the only way that we can cut privately owned property is if it's really turned into a nonprofit organization. I think that's how Catlettsburg Cemetery is laid out. That one was a little different. It was privately owned, for profit, and then now it's changed to a nonprofit organization, which greatly helps us. So I know this is going to frustrate a lot of people, and please just understand that we're just trying to follow the law and the guidelines that KRS lays out for us, making sure that we don't do work on private property. That's extremely important. Just like we wouldn't go cut, grass at a gas station or anything like that. We've got to make sure that property is for nonprofit purposes only. So give us some time to do our research, and we'll get some things dialed in there. In the meantime, I know it's going to cause some issues, and I apologize for that in advance. But we'll work through that. Bill, is there anything you want to touch on there that pretty much covered?
That pretty much covered. Just has to be a 501c or a government agency. So that's where that kind of lines out. I know we've done it for years, but then now that it's been brought to attention, if a state inmate worker would get hurt on that property, there's no excuse for the liability on that point because it's already been brought to our attention now. So it's not that we wouldn't love to continue to do it for the county. We've been doing it for years. This wasn't anything except for state law, and now that it's been brought to our attention, it would be on us if we continue to do it.
Yeah. And the liability issue is really what the problem is. So if we can find a way to get these set up in a 501c3 nonprofit, we can absolutely put them back on getting dialed in to taking care of them, possibly taking care of them. So something we want to look at. I know it's a very delicate situation, but it's kind of one of those situations, our hands are tied, and we're just trying to make sure that we follow the law as well, treat everybody the same. So next on the agenda, it's not on the agenda, but I'm going to talk about it real quick. TXMAP GOV, something we haven't talked about in a long time. Very important. TXMAP GOV is a great tool. It's a great asset. We used to have a logo on the screen on the videos, and we'll work on put that back up, and we'll get it shared on the Facebook pages. It's so easy in today's world. If you got a pothole in your road, you can take a picture of it, and you can text it to the government. It'll be sorted straight to the road department. Everything will be dialed in and squared away. We'll generate a work order. We'll know it's there. We'll have picture proof of it. This is a tool that I strongly encourage everybody to use. It's a good thing, really. It's just another way to reach out to your local government. I know we've been having phone troubles here. I think we've got that kind of squared away. I know a lot of people see me out and they say I tried to call and got a recording, or it just dropped the call or hit the button to transfer. So these are things we're working on. But that TXMAP GOV, we'll get that put back out there and really start promoting it. It's something really, really good for everybody to be a part of.
Judge?
Yes.
So it's on the website currently. So when you go to our website, we have a little widget on the up front of it, and all you have to do is text "hi" to 606-644-1644, and we'll put some more flyers up. We'll try to do
I
that.
just want to make it push again.
We've had some. We check it every day. We've had some uptick in our people using it, so that's been good. But we encourage everybody to continue to use it because it streamlines right to the road department.
And we send out, it's not just the road department. We'll send out updates on this, courthouse is shut down, or if there's an emergency of some sort.
We have a road closure.
Road closure,
we have an event coming up. Yeah. On that,
Um,
and that's the alert side, so you have to subscribe to that. But for the reporting side, it's important to text that 606 number I just mentioned, and it's on the front page of the website currently.
Okay,
So-
good deal. I just want to push that a little bit too, because it's another way to get close to your government. If you feel like you can't get somebody, there's multiple avenues to get there. This is a good one.
And also, you can ask the question like, where can I get a passport? Where do I pay my tax? Do anything like that. You could text that prompt and just follow the prompts, and it'll tell you where you need to go.
I didn't know that. That's great. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, great. So next we'll move to community comment.
Hi, do I need to say something?
Nope.
Say Sean McCann or anything? Okay, my time is going. All right, I'm just here, I just want to make a public comment about my concerns about Rush Off-Road. I live out in Rush, Kentucky. I'm from Boyd County, went to school with Jeremy, so it's not like I've just moved out to Rush. And we are having our quality of life eviscerated because of Rush Off-Road. My neighbor he's a veteran and he has PTSD, and we have recently started talking more in our community, and he talks about how it affects his PTSD. I have PTSD from an accident that I was involved in, so they don't follow the noise ordinance, and the trails are so close to our houses you can see them, and I don't mean like the trail system is like right there. It's like you can see there is a trail, you can see them on it. It's like 100 feet from my neighbor's house, and they go all night, and so you're sleeping, and at 3 o'clock in the morning, whenever they're going up or down the trails, they jolt you awake and you feel like you're having a heart attack. And they have two events coming up, one called Rush and Rowdy, coming up June 10th through the 14th, I think. And they start going all night, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday night when they have these events, because the people coming aren't from around here. And so it's when they have these events, it turns into, it's like a war zone. It's never ending, it's constant. And then there's another big event coming up in August. So concerned about the owner seeming to refuse to properly run his park. I don't know him, so I don't want to slander or anything like that. I don't want to throw shade at anybody, but it seems like he is not willing to hire enough people to properly run and manage his park. And also we have so many middle school and elementary school age boys on dirt bikes on our roads, and it's a state highway, State Route 854. And I don't just mean they're driving on the roads. I mean I've been driving and I've had one coming at me on my side, swerving and playing chicken with me. And they're just reckless, and they think they own the whole place. And one of them is going to get killed. And when that happens, it is going to just decimate, eviscerate somebody's life, and I don't want that to happen. My neighbors that just moved in, I want people to come to Rush. I love my community. They just moved in 2 years ago and they're already talking about leaving because of Rush Off-Road. So I want people like them in my community, people that respect the land and like the quiet and came out there for a certain quality of life. But then we have people that put in businesses and they don't live in our community. They don't have to deal with the issues that we deal with. And I've been actively complaining about it since before the pandemic. And I feel like we should have made more headway than what we have by this point. And it almost seems like every time I complain about it, they like double down to just prove that they can do what they want on their own property. So it's destroying our quality of life. It's destroying the watershed, which we didn't have the greatest quality of watershed at Rush at the beginning. I'll admit that, but I love the idea of building tourism in Rush. I love the idea of it being this where we preserve our water and we put salamanders back in our waters instead of silt from runoff. So it's not that I don't want development and tourism in my community. I want development and tourism in my community that's going to bring life back to my community and not be so rude and disrespectful to the people that have been there. I live in a house that my uncles built for my grandparents. So it's just like this, I'm deeply rooted in this place, deeply, deeply rooted in this place. And I've been screaming for help for years, and we're gonna meet today and talk. So I'm not frustrated with y'all. I'm frustrated with the whole system in general. That some people make a lot of money off of this, but I sacrifice my weekends for that. I sacrifice my sleep for that. I've had to call off work for that, so I've missed out on money because I haven't slept the night before. So, and then just the mental and emotional strain of complaining about it, and then have somebody continue to just let things go out of control the way that they are. So I got 30 seconds left, but I'll stop. Thank you all.
And you and I we've had numerous conversations. I remember you even called me at 2:30 in the morning, and I answered. I was on the way to work, right? So I mean, we've had a conversation numerous times. And if there's anybody you should be frustrated with, realistically, it should be me, right? I mean, this is where it all stops with me. It all falls on me. This is what I was elected to do: is find ways to solve problems, and I haven't really found a way to solve an issue. So that's 100% on me. Okay, 100%. I'm taking that. Here's the issue. The issue is it goes back to kind of what we was talking about with private cemeteries, private property enforcement. So take Rock the Country, for instance. When Rock the Country's here, how that works is there's multiple deals signed from Rock the Country Group with emergency services in Boyd County. And they cover that, because that's not the taxpayer's responsibility, right? I mean, you have 30,000 people coming in from outside of this community, and they're coming to spend their time here, but they don't have to live here, right? So what those contracts are is they pay a certain amount, an hourly rate set for each emergency service personnel and equipment and all that, and they cover it. We haven't done that with Rush. That's one thing, and that's our next step, really, is what we can't do, and this is where I struggle with, A, government overreach, B, getting on the private property, probably where we shouldn't, and if we did that, does it even hold any merit at that point, right? So, because the noise ordinance is in place, and I forget the times, I think it's 11 on weekdays and midnights on weekends.
Correct.
You can enforce anything outside of that. Outside of that private piece of property, we can do that. But the bottom line is, realistic answer, the owner of the property has a business that should be enforcing regulations on their own property to be able to handle that noise ordinance and make sure that they comply with it. How you get there with 3,500 people on 5,800 acres or 10,000 people on 5,800 acres, I don't know that. I do know that, but it doesn't involve government yet. The other way to do it is to work the same deal that we work with Rock the Country with Rush Off-Road, where when you have these big events, that there's a contract in place where, hey, you know what, we'll supply X amount of emergency service personnel. Here's the rate to do that because it doesn't fall in the back of the taxpayers. We'll cover this event, and we'll enforce it. And I promise you, there'll be no issue.
Yeah, whenever it's not a big event and it's not like a crazy amount of people, it's very tolerable.
It's normal. It's
very
like it was
tolerable.
back in the day.
Yeah.
You know, people just out riding on the weekends,
Right.
having a good time.
Right.
And as far as outside the park, you know, this was one of the things when Jamie took office, he wanted to hit right off the bat. We'll sit down and have conversations and find ways to mitigate these issues. And I know the 4 Mile side, he really got it. You know, he really got it dialed in. And then there was some other businesses that have opened on the 854 side, because that's where we're noticing now, we don't get the calls as much from the 4 Mile side as we did, but we're getting the calls on the 854 side. So you have new businesses that's open over there that allows parking, they traverse the road up. So those are things that we're gonna tackle. But I do think, Jamie, when he came in, this was one of his main topics that he wanted to hit. I think one of the answers is getting a contract in place on these events that we can provide emergency service personnel, not at the taxpayer expense, at the expense of the owner of the Rush Off Road where the event's taking place. Another route that we can go is looking at the noise ordinance that we have and really start putting some teeth in it. Because right now it's just a noise ordinance, you know. We could put some teeth in it that would essentially make it a pretty good decision to enforce what that is. Because I get it too. I mean, look, we've built the past 7 years off tourism. I mean, we have. We literally, our motto has been economic development through tourism for the past 7 years, and that's what we're trying to do. But it's kind of the same way that I look at it with code enforcement. Here's how I feel. You should be allowed to do whatever you want to do on your property. Whatever you want. Until it starts affecting your neighbors or it starts affecting people outside of your own property.
Because the noise is in my bedroom.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't stop.
It's
It
not
doesn't
on the
stop at
property.
the
Right.
property boundaries, right? So yes, again, to recap, if there's anybody you should be frustrated with, 100% without a doubt, it's me. Nobody else in this room, it's me, because I've been here the longest and had a conversation with you the longest. I think there's two possibilities there, two routes that we can go that'll really put some teeth in what we can and can't do. I do think that the outside factors, while events are going on there outside of the property boundaries, I think those have been cut way down. I really do believe that. I think Jamie on 4 Mile, I think you've got that squared away, dialed in. But I think there's some other steps that we can take, and that starts with me, nobody else. So we're gonna meet after this meeting, and we're gonna sit down and have a conversation, and let's see what we can come up with. All right?
Thank you.
Judge, I got a question for you though on that. Did Carter County ever pass their noise ordinance? Because that's where they're getting a lot of their issues from, is on the 854 side. I'd say probably about 65 to 75% of the issue they're having is off the Carter County side. I know they're still having it in Boyd, but I don't think Carter ever passed a noise ordinance either that we tried to get them to several years ago.
I can call Judge Burton
And I
when
think
this
that's-
meeting's over.
And 100% of my issues are on Boyd County property. 100.
Without a doubt.
Without a doubt.
We don't have a bunch of info from Carter County coming this way. It's right there, no question.
I got a note here, I'll call him afterwards. But realistically, as a government, they'll be the same boat, right? I mean, we've got to find a way to put some teeth and some back in, so we can do that, we'll work on that. All right, does anybody else have anything on Rush Off Road you all want to talk about on that point? All right, community comment. I'm gonna start putting you on the agenda.
Since you talked about the cemeteries, I do a lot of research at the library, at the Ashland Library downtown. And they have files and files about cemeteries that I think would help maybe clarify some of these issues that we're having. And plus there's people that'll help you research there. And Jim is who I usually go and talk to about things. But anyway, I just wanted to let you know about that. So thank you.
That is good information.
Thank you.
She
You can hear me. I said it'd be nice if you stepped up and did that research for us, all right?
I've done it on the Dixon Cemetery. I can tell you all about that cemetery.
We'll look into that.
Come on, public service, man.
Terry Clyde around on Lone Branch is another good one too. She's the one that's done the majority of the stuff when it comes to cemeteries in Wood County.
Right.
She lives up there just past me.
Talk to all them, see what we can do, get that squared away. All right, community comment, Beth.
Hi, I'm John Simmons again.
How you doing?
Well, I come here today to see if we can make a new paper for the easements for Deer Park out there.
A new paper, what do you mean, like a new
Well,
right of way?
yeah, for the right of way, where everybody can sign. 'Cause-
Oh, a petition,
Yes, the petition.
to get it taken over.
Yes,
Okay,
because before, one person didn't sign it. Now they don't live there and own property anymore. So if we make a new one, everybody will.
so I think, yeah, I mean, anybody can do a petition at any time. That's something that doesn't have to have the authority of the court to do.
Well, I thought you all had to do
The
it.
court just has to, we just vote to accept it. You know,
Oh,
whether
okay.
we'll accept it in the county road system. And again, back to the first conversation we had, the problem is it doesn't meet any respects, right? But I have, today, the road foreman did go up there and take a look at it. Of course, we've been up there many times. What we're doing now is we're working with the state to see if there's any grant programs out there for emergency access, you know, or any type of emergency dollars that we could go after to be able to build an access point using emergency services as kind of a key point there to be able to get a new access built. Off top, I mean, I don't know what we'd be looking at there as far as money goes to build a road, but that's what we're working with the state on right now. I know you showed us last month, you've got the map of where we could bring a new road in.
Yes.
And we looked at that and think that absolutely would work 100%. We just have to find the funds to be able to do it. And I think that there's different departments at the state that we can go through for grant programs to try and get this done. It's a shame that it wasn't completed back when they had signatures, even though there was one that didn't sign, but I wouldn't think that one signature, I don't think it has to be 100%. I think it just has to be a certain percentage, majority, maybe 75%. So it's just gonna be, it's unfortunately gonna be one of these things, it's gonna be a patience thing. We are working on it 100%, and patience on our end. You went long enough without it that you deserve it, right? So we just need to find a way to make that happen. And grant programs, they're out there, and that's gonna have to be the path we go to get this done. So yes, if you wanna do a petition, you're more than welcome to do a petition. I'm sure that there'll be 100% signatures on that, petition to turn in. When the court would act on that petition would most likely be when we find a, grant program or something in place to be able to construct the road.
Well, the reason I mentioned, for you all, because the last time we did that, we went to Bud Stevens' office down there and everybody signed the papers there.
Yeah.
So I figured you all was the one
I
that
don't
made
think
the paper.
so. I think it's to take over a road is really just a petition, or it's just a request even at this fiscal court, because we've done that numerous times too. We've sent out 2 people to survey the road or to look at the road, and then they kind of grade it a little bit, and then they come back and tell the court their recommendations. So no, it shouldn't require, the only official action that would be taken would be in the court meeting itself.
Okay.
And we are still actively looking at it. That's why I was talking to Davey there earlier, road foreman, just to see where we're at, and kind of what our options are.
Okay.
So probably not the 100% best answer you wanted to hear, but it is a step in the right direction from last
I'll
month.
work on the petition.
All right.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Any comment?
Everybody done?
I'm Jimmy Taylor. I just come here to vent a little bit. A few months ago, the county came up there and tore out a bridge at Lockwood. At first, they closed the bridge and done more work to close it than it would have took to fix it. That's what was heartbreaking to me. And then all of a sudden, they come up and just tore it out. We got the steel for that bridge at Armco when they tore down the open hearth. And me and my father-in-law pretty much built it. Our critical welds, when we put it up though, was done by a certified welder. We'll make sure it held, you know. It's built in an arch. Not long after we built it, flash flood come and a 77 Chevrolet, a big Chevrolet, come washing down the creek. hit that bridge and stayed right there. Right before you tore it out, somebody was logging up White's Creek, and there was another flash flood, and here come logs, treetops down against the bridge. And that's, I guess somebody called about it, and when you come, took out the logs and the debris, they took out the bridge. Several people have asked me why. There's several people up there using it to go down to the park. They walked, there's several walkers up there. And I said, well, they said it wasn't safe. I lose sleep over that, thinking about that. That bridge. It meant a lot to a lot of people. Me and my son-in-law was up there, or my grandson was up there working a month ago. And this guy come up, and he's an adult man, you know, had a beard. And he said, what happened to the bridge? I said, well, the county took it up. He said, why? He said, I brought my daughter up here to see where we grew up and played. I was gonna show her the bridge, and it's gone. I said, well, it happened. We'll never get that bridge back, but there are several people up there. We've got a lot of young couples with kids. And White's Creek in that area is not safe. It's crooked and they drive fast. It's not safe to walk on the highway down there. But they were using the park here lately. Colton Allen, David knows, they've had some get-togethers up there with a lot of people playing softball, and people in the neighborhood, people coming in. I don't know if there's anything you can do about that, but it would be used if it was. I know it's not, a bridge is not an easy thing, but that was a good bridge. That's what bothered me. It wasn't gonna go nowhere. If it could hold a 3,500-pound car from Washington, it'd hold somebody walking across, I'm sure. It did need a piece of grading on one side where there's concrete run up about so high. That would have been easier to fix than what they did to it, to keep people from walking across.
Was it wood plank or was it mesh?
It was steel grading, welder grading, all except about that much concrete. That needed to be replaced because it was getting a little iffy. And I thought, well, the county's going to do it. I'd have done it myself. But the county don't want me to work because I put up a scaffold up there last year to fix the flagpole and paint it and put up a new flag. Come back the next day to go to work and the county come and got my scaffold.
What do we do with your scaffold?
They took it out to their place.
We stole your scaffold?
Mm-hmm.
Do we still have your scaffold?
No, I called them and told them to bring it back because I had borrowed it. I had borrowed it off of Chuck Mead. And I was getting ready to go. I was going to fix the flagpole and paint it and all, you know, but they said, no, that's not safe. Well, you know, I try to help, but they do more work trying to keep me from working than they do, you know. But anyway, maybe I can sleep a little better if I can vent this too long.
I'll talk about the scaffold thing first. I was completely unaware of that. Sorry we stole your scaffold.
Well, I don't care about the scaffold.
I do. I care about the scaffold. I care about the scaffold a lot.
Get it back.
So I'll tell you something. It's the same way. I understand what you're wanting to do, but I also understand in today's world.
I know.
That there's no way, right? I mean, I understand why we took the scaffold down. I understand why we would do it.
Yeah, I know.
But I don't know why we would take it back to our shop. In today's world, I understand liability issues. It's a real thing. It 100% is a real thing. And I've known you for a long time, and I know that's not you, right? Like you're not that guy. You just want to help. You want that park to be beautiful. You want Lockwood to be an incredible place. You care a lot. You got a big heart. So I do apologize for taking your scaffold, but I understand why, from a safety perspective, why we did what we did. I just think we could have went about that maybe a different way.
I'm not complaining about the scaffold.
Now the bridge issue, I'm gonna ask, I don't know, I know that I was told it was a safety issue, safety concern as to why we took it there. I don't know, backing up, I should ask more questions.
Yeah, I wish you to, somebody to
Should
contact
ask
me.
more questions.
I'd have got an engineer to come in and done some math on that bridge. Like I say, if it holds a 77 Chevrolet from going through and a log jam going through, it's safe to walk across.
Yeah.
I'm
Tim,
quite sure.
Tim Morrison?
Yeah.
Tim, do you remember?
I do, I've got pictures of it right here. The concrete was literally 4 inches away from being able to touch the edge of the bridge, with everything. I mean, if somebody walked on the concrete, more than likely would have went down. Like I said, I have pictures here, and we got deterioration all the way across the one end and probably 5 foot up the side. So that meant the bridge it either had to be repaired or took down.
Exactly. Needs steel grading like the rest of the bridge, and it'd been less work than putting up all that barricade that they come up and welded up. I'd have done it myself.
Yeah.
If I knew they was gonna tear the bridge down, I'd have done it myself.
Well, knowing that, I understand why we tore it down. Maybe what we should have looked at there was, maybe looking at repairing the bridge. And again, it's on me. But at this point, I can apologize for that. I understand now, the concerns we had from a safety perspective. But I probably could have had more conversations with you about that.
I wished, like I say, I think about that. It makes me sick and some other people, a lot of people.
Yeah.
I hear it all the time, especially my family, some of them walk,
Yeah.
Can't walk there no more.
I think it's where we go with this from now. I mean, the bridge is already gone, it's already said, I've heard all kinds of back and forth and everything about this bridge for 3 years. Since it got tore down, since it was condemned, whatever you wanna call it. We've talked about, well, I don't think we even own the property on the side, which I was on the court whenever we took the property on the side. We used to have a tennis court there. But the road coming down to it, is also coming by Jimmy's building down into the parking lot, so there's some question there, but, we thought about other ways to be able to build a bridge and build it back safe, with the wing walls and stuff like that. We've got a couple of bridge tops out there, out the garage that we talked about, but we don't have a way to haul them over there, so, because they're just too big to lift from where they came from, US 60.
Oh, yeah, I don't know that you want one of them
Well,
over there.
we're just trying to come up with a solution that doesn't cost us any money.
That would end up being a dam instead of a bridge, yeah. Those things are huge, they're massive, they're bridge sections.
Preferably, it probably needs a bridge that you not big enough to ride a four-wheeler on. Just to
Well,
walk it.
I don't think it was, I know side by side you can't.
Good news, you don't want people running across four-wheeler, but you want them to walk across, so.
Well, at this point, what I can do is apologize to you, and now I understand some pictures, I understand maybe why, I understand why we made the decision that we did, but we should have looked at maybe repairing the bridge, knowing that it had a history versus not, and I didn't know that, and that's again, my fault. So with that being said, I think we can look at constructing a new bridge, we can get prices on that, and walking the bridge from one side to the other, and we can go from there.
Well, maybe I can sleep a little better knowing you all.
I get the same phone calls you get.
Thank you.
Yeah. I feel like if you upset him, you really got something wrong,
So you might be looking at that bridge, so get it back.
I can't even tell you how much that's all.
I didn't know about that either. Okay, all right, any comment? All right, move to new business, commissioners.
Talked to county clerk earlier today, and he just said, what's the stats for early voting? Because I know, you voted this morning, but early voting, this is a very cool comparison. 2 years ago, when it was a presidential election, we had 440 early votes in Boyd County, 440. This year, no presidential election, they had 740. That's significant. So either people are active, or they're like, I'm just not going on election day. But either way, people were out, and that's important. So, before we close, we do want to say thank you to all the people who are working the polls at all the various locations and all the voting centers across the county. So, What a cool thing, drop off your kids at school, go vote. That was a beautiful morning, where people did it before they did that. So it was a great seamless experience. I went to the Summit library this morning right at 8 o'clock, right after I dropped my kid off at the middle school, and walked in, boom, transaction. It was incredible. The volunteers there were fantastic. So thank you all to those who are working 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. tonight, whatever that case may be, or they drop off here at 7 p.m., whatever it is. So if you missed a family member today because they've been working, we're very much appreciative of them. So let them know when you see them later today that their county appreciates them very much.
I agree. Get out and vote. We're all blessed to live in a country where you can do that. You know, so we need to exercise that. And my mom always told me that if you don't vote, you can't complain. So, there was different words. But, yeah. But anyway, get out there, vote. Kevin's got a good setup everywhere. And you can vote anywhere, too, by the way. It's, you know, it's been that way for a few years. You can go anywhere you want to vote in the county, you pull up your name, you can vote there. It's great. It really is. So we're taking with death for that. I know everybody's kind of looking forward to get past today and move on, so. All right, new business. Somebody else? Dave, you got anything?
Nope.
Randy? All right. Next meeting. Will be June 2nd. Here. We'll have 2 meetings next month too. June 2nd, June 30th. June 30th will be really to approve bidding process for the county and get ready for the new fiscal year. So June 2nd, we'll see you there. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Everybody's in favor. Thank you all.